Our Indian clients would always ask us a couple of times to make sure that they got the answer that they or understood the answer that they had received. I'm hearing you say you need to print out, and I'm still, I mean, I hate to kill trees, but you print out all of the raw material, the statute, the regulations, the commentary, the Federal Register, the preamble. You print everything out, you get a highlighter, and you just read everything, you highlight everything, and you kind of let that marinate in your brain and try to figure out you try to whiteboard it with your colleagues, you try to sleep and next day look at it again, but you're trying to look at all the material and like a chef try to put the recipe together to put together an argument that may not be out there. I mean, I think as immigration lawyers, we're kind of trained to find cookie cutters. Someone did this before, I'm going to use the same thing. As litigators, we look to Westlaw and Lexis. We want to find a case somewhere in a different district or different circuit that kind of address it, but it may not be out there. We may have to cut from whole cloth. And if you have all of that material, if you're master of all that material, you have a better chance of weaving it together in a way that benefits your client.
Yeah, I work better with things printed out. So even when I was writing the motion, I would print stuff out, I would circle stuff and highlight stuff, and I'd have 20 pages on the floor just spread out and trying to move things around. Everybody has their own style for working, but I do think the biggest takeaway from this case is, think as creatively as you possibly can. You might very well come up with an argument, even if you haven't been practicing for many years, you haven't litigated for very long, but you may very well be able to come up with an argument that makes sense. And the fact that somebody else has never tried that argument does not mean that it can't be successful. I think you're trying to make the situation sound reasonable and logical to the judge, and to explain to the judge, this is why it's the plain and most inevitable result that should be the result in this case.